Hi, and welcome to Author Conversations. My name's Chris Dabbs, and today we have got, I have to say, one of my favorite subjects, actually. We're going to be talking about AI. Yep, and you're right, we have got an author here who has looked at making a book simple for people to understand, or make it easy for people to understand AI, build confidence without techie jargon. It's fantastic. So today we're going to be listening to Rick Samara, who is an award-winning author. His book, AI for Beginners Demystified, has now won awards from Life Fest America 2026 and the Literary Titan. Amazing. Well, a former Air Force intelligence officer, he's known for his exceptional ability to simplify complex technical information into easy-to-understand concepts, which I think we all need with this subject. And throughout his military career, Rick developed a unique talent for turning detailed data into clear explanations that can be understood by a broad audience, including those without specialized knowledge, most importantly, like a high school first-year student, perhaps? His ability to connect advanced intelligence with everyday understanding made him a trusted figure in both professional and educational environments, leaving a lasting impression on those that he worked with. Now, today, Rick applies his expertise as the founder and co-owner of a digital marketing agency. It's called Internet Marketing Services, LLC, and he uses his signature ability to simplify complex ideas, helping business owners understand and adopt artificial intelligence into their digital marketing strategies. Sounds like a plan to me. This is where we're going nowadays, I think. So, by making AI accessible and practical, Rick enables both individuals and companies to boost their productivity and efficiency, basically encouraging growth and innovation in an increasingly digital world. His book is available on Amazon and all other great book retailers, and you can also find a good book link directly underneath this video as well. So, Rick, welcome. It's lovely to have you here. How are you today?
Fantastic, Chris. It's so good to be here with you. I really
Well,
appreciate
thanks
this
very much.
opportunity to get my message out.
And it's a really important message, I think, to get out nowadays, isn't it? Things are changing rapidly in business, as you said, and also in, well, personal lives as well with AI, isn't it? I mean, why did you write this book? What motivated you right now to get it out there?
Well, Chris, as you mentioned, I have a digital marketing agency called Internet Marketing Services. We saw the writing on the wall about 2.5 years ago that most of digital marketing was moving to AI. Yet I got a lot of resistance from business owners for a number of different reasons because, it was so new that there was resistance. There was friction. People were scared. They didn't know what they were getting into. So I wanted to figure out why. Why? Because when AI came out, personally, I loved the idea. I loved this new technology. I thought it had so much to offer everybody. So I started doing some research, and I did more research and more research, and I kept notes. And I said, I'm just going to write a book about this. I never saw myself as an author, but I said, let's brush off those skills. Let's take everything that I've learned and kind of package that into a book, and we'll put it up on Amazon, and I'll have it available for my clients, as a free gift. Let them read it, so they're not afraid of artificial intelligence. So I wrote the book. Now I will tell you that I subscribed to an agency, and I had the book written in AI. I got a copy of the book. I looked at it. I read it. I crushed it. I said, "This is not me. I need to speak as Rick Samara would speak. I need to tell the story the way I want to tell the story, and not the way some machine is trying to tell the story for me." But it gave me somewhat of a structure to use, and I was able to use the structure that I certainly had to write the book on my own. So that's how I got into it, and I'm happy I did it. I'm really happy I did it because I was really pleased. And if you read the reviews on the book, they pretty much say the same thing. You know, and it says that my message really got across. Yeah, this is a simple version of AI. I used to fear it. I didn't know anything about it. Now that I'm the expert in my family on AI, and so the reviews are just so rewarding. Uh, that's why I did it, and that's what I have right now, a book on artificial intelligence.
Now, I bet you didn't think you'd be an artificial intelligence author 5 years ago, did you?
No, I didn't. I never envisioned. Everybody kind of thinks that, heck, I'd like to write a book. I've had friends write books, but I never really had that ambition until, I crossed this path. You know, clients on the one hand, artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence out here, and how do I simplify it? How do I bring it all together? So now I'm an author. And then I won a couple
See,
of awards,
amazing.
which is really cool.
That's incredible. Yeah, congratulations on that. That is amazing, I have to say. Especially, like 2026 as well, this year as well. So, it's like, you're really motoring forward. So, yeah, congrats. I mean, this is the thing, though,
Thanks, man.
isn't it? AI AI, we look at it in movies, obviously Terminator and all that sort of thing, all sorts of things. It's always seen as the demon. But nowadays, I think that people are obviously looking at what we would call the large language models, right? But we're keeping away from techie stuff here because
Mhm.
your approach makes complex technology like large language models feel approachable and even fun, right? So why was it important for you to avoid all this techie jargon when writing this book?
Well, I'm not a data scientist. I'm not an engineer. They're the ones that, produce all the technology behind self-driving cars, and things like that. I'm not at that level, and nor do I even want to understand that level. You mentioned the major chatbots, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and those. AI, as we know it, I mean, it goes back. It goes back to the 50s, you know, but it didn't come to us as consumers until 2022 when OpenAI developed ChatGPT. So this technology is really in its infancy in terms of how we know and understand it, and it's really easy to use. I'll call them chatbots, like ChatGPT. It's really easy to use, and there's so many different functions that not only businesses but uh, 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 basic mom and dads and sisters and brothers and students and aunts and uncles can be using if they understand the value that it can provide to them. And that's the fun part of the job, bringing that message across.
It's true. And it helps people to be creative, I feel, as well, funnily enough, because people think that you're not. I mean, I understand completely what you're saying about when that first iteration of your book came out, and it was like somebody else wrote it, a machine wrote it, as far as you're concerned. It wasn't in your voice, was it? So you had to edit it into your voice. And so, yeah, I mean, wow, the options are so vast. I mean, I lecture at the University of Brighton down here in England, in southern England, and my students, they're all over AI, as you can imagine. It helps them, right? This is in journalism. It helps them, but we always teach them not to rely on it and to do exactly what you did. So, in other words, you use it as a framework, right? So, what's one simple AI tool or habit that you think every beginner, like a student, should start using today? Then,
Well, the first thing I started doing really was I set it up as a log. A log. I went to ChatGPT and I said, develop a log for me to to so I could start putting in expenses, things that I do. I keep a schedule, but this is better because I can go to ChatGPT and I say, give me my log entries for uh, for the month of May, and it'll take a while to think, and it'll give me everything that I put in there. So that's one easy thing that people can do. all of these chatbots, all of these AI applications like ChatGPT and Google Gemini and Claude, they all have paid programs. You can upgrade and pay $20 a month for them. Most people don't have to do that. All they need to do is log in. I use a Google account. I use my Gmail account, and I use it for to log into the chatbots. And I have an account set up for each one. So you don't need to pay. So, my advice to people is try it out. Don't get a paid program or a pro program. Try saying that 20 times real fast. But
Yeah.
just go with the free version and test it out. Ask it things. You know, one of the most popular examples initially was how to create a trip itinerary. You can use it for that. I am in White Plains, Maryland, and I want to take a trip to Tennessee. What sites should I be, visiting? What are the most popular sites? And let it respond to you. And then he asks you for more detailed information. Well, can you give me, a list of hotels in the area? Bing, 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 bing. You get a list of hotels in the area. So it's simple stuff that anybody can use. Let's say you're a you're a 40-year-old man, and you have been tasked by the family to create your annual family get together. Bing, bing, bing. You could use it for that. You just plug in and ask information about it, and it'll it'll come back to you with questions as well. Okay, well, how many people are we talking about? Things like that, and you engage with it, and you iterate with it, and you refine your questions with it, and it'll help you do that. So there's some simple things. I mean, if you're a if you're a coach for your kids, and all of a sudden that you're going to develop a league and a schedule and rules and things like that. You know, these chatbots will do it for you, and they'll do it for you for free. Now, there might be things in there that you don't like, and then you respond and you tell them that you don't like this for this reason. But how about putting this in there, this rule or something, and it'll say, "Thank you very much." Bing, bing, bing. Now, one of the things you really want to do too, because these large language models learn on something that's called machine learning, and you don't need to know anything about that. Let the data scientists worry about machine learning. But one of the things you want to do, if it gives you a good response, you'll see a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If it's a good response, click the thumbs up because that tells the 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 machine that tells the chatbot that this is a good response, and they'll remember the good responses because they're all built on data, thousands and thousands and millions of data points. And you provide a thumbs up, you're telling them that's a good data point, so they'll save that. So you teach the
It's
machine
incredible,
learns
isn't
from
it?
you as well. Yeah, yeah, it really is. It's amazing, amazing.
I mean, without getting too geeky, I'm sorry, I have to geek out a little bit. It's incredible, isn't it? How the amount of power that this new industry uses. We've had issues over here in the UK where I think like OpenAI and all these guys have decided not to come to various parts of the UK and put their server farms because we can't provide enough electricity to run those things. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, we have those issues in the United States as well. But then, the saving grace of it is that it's going to create a lot of jobs if in fact you can build the infrastructure behind it and put in the data center, anywhere in the country. It's going to create new jobs, new high tech paying jobs, too. Good paying jobs. Uh,
Oh, well, exactly. I
yeah,
mean, one of the issues that I have, with my students is that they're worried because they think that AI is going to take over the jobs that they would have had, right? The graduate jobs that they would have gone for straight out of university or college. Um, and you can kind of see that happening already, can't you? You know, these sort of simple kind of jobs are being taken. But do you think that people should be afraid of AI, or should they learn how to work alongside it more so?
More and more companies here now are putting AI in the job description. You have to know something about it. And you could do that by getting certifications, but the best way to do it is, if you try to examine and try to figure out what exactly they're asking for. So you examine a question, and by examining the question hard enough, you can try to figure out what the problem is, because they're trying to solve a problem. So what's the business? Every business is going to be different. Every industry is going to be a little bit different to try to solve the problem. Uh, Now, an article that I just posted, I put what if your employer requires you to know AI? you know, you need to develop a framework with your employer. You need to sit down. Chris, I work for you. Okay. What are the parameters? How can I use this? Do you have something set up? Uh, what shouldn't I ask? What shouldn't I incorporate? So there are parameters. And then I put together a checklist as well. You know, these are things to go over with your employer. So that's already happening. So they're starting to use more AI in U.S. companies, in industries. Uh, I I wouldn't have a fear at all about losing a job. Uh, the software industries, they need humans. They don't want humans. But then in the more technical industries, uh, in the more creative industries, like, I'm most familiar with building websites for clients. How do I use AI there? How do I use AI for content? And how do I structure it, establish parameters, and help them produce content on their sites? I know in my business how to use AI. What people need to figure out is how, in their future job, they can start using AI. And the best way to do it is just to start practicing. Start practicing. Get used to it right now, because AI isn't necessarily going to replace your job. But, your employer's liable to hire somebody else who can do AI just a little bit better than you. So in order to stay competitive, learn it. Start practicing. Practice, practice, practice. And you can start figuring out certain things, in my belief, that'll help you stay ahead of competition at work. I mean, if you see a problem at work, see if you could solve that problem. When I was in the military, okay, I was a young second lieutenant assigned to my first base. It was England Air Force Base in Louisiana. It's not there anymore. It's apartment buildings. But a colonel gave a lecture to all incoming personnel. And he said two things that I'll never, ever forget. And I use them, they're ingrained in me. So it had a major impact. And one of the things he said was, don't bring me your problems. Bring me your solutions to the problem. You could use AI to figure out a problem at the job, you know, solve that problem by using AI, and be the smart guy in your division or branch or whatever, that the boss will come to you and ask you to do certain tough things. It's always great when a boss, a superior, comes to you and says, "Hey, Rick, Colonel said, I can come talk to you about this. I know you don't work for him, but he says you get things done. Can you help me with this?" The other thing I'll always remember is, you know, work your boss's agenda, you know, and that stuck with me too. So whoever your boss is, know what they need and work with them. And trust me, If you practice AI now, you will figure out a way to use AI to help solve your boss's problem. That's my 2 cents. That's all I can give
And
you,
then
Chris. Yeah,
no, no,
y
that's no,
y
that's perfect.
you know, the World Economic Council came out with a report a couple of years ago, and they said, "Yeah, jobs are gonna go away." No doubt about it. But by the year 2025, 2027, there's gonna be a net increase in jobs with AI. So, I would just advise anybody, I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't be scared. I wouldn't stay away from it because I feared it. I'd get involved and I'd start learning it, to my advantage.
I
And
think it
it's not hard. I mean, you can spend half an hour a day doing it.
Well, exactly. I
Uh,
mean, that's
uh,
the thing, isn't it? I think, I remember a while ago when it used to be when you were going for a new job or work for a new employer and everything else, that they would, insist that you had Microsoft experience so that you could write a word processed
mm,
letter, or you knew how to use a bit of Excel or something like that, right? And at the time, people thought, "Oh my gosh, it's the same thing." People used to think, "Oh, we can't do this. I can't do that. I don't want to change. Why? I'm good with a calculator. I'm good with this. I'm good with that. Why do I need to use a computer?" And then, you know, they were scared for their jobs also, weren't they, at that time? But yes, things
right, right,
change. But yeah, and
right,
what you're
right. And people
advocating
have
is to
to
make sure
adapt
that
to them.
you're running along.
Exactly. You know, there's a lot of apprehension to computers when they came out. There was a lot of apprehension to trains when they came out. People were saying, "I can't ride that because my stomach will fall apart at 30 miles an hour." All kinds of stories about technology and how people didn't accept it. We go through this. We've gone through this before. Oh, it's the cars. Well, I don't want to give up my horse. There's too many
Exactly.
accidents that are
Imagine
going
the
to happen.
industry.
How am I going to have? Yeah, yeah, and all these things became part of our lives. We just accepted them, got right. So with artificial intelligence, it's pretty much the same thing. It's already here. You're already using it, whether you know it or not. If you have a smartphone, your smartphone is full with AI. From your camera to your apps. You know, uh, it's already here. So learn about it and make it
And even the
your
predictive
advantage.
text, right? When you Yeah.
Oh, isn't that amazing? Yeah, 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 yeah,
So exactly in the
yeah.
old days, what was it? There was a software, wasn't there, that people like lawyers or accountants or whatever used to put onto their computers so they could dictate, and I think that used to be quite expensive. But now, well, they don't really need to do that, do they? They can just check. They can just talk to any one of these AIs and get the same job done, right?
Right, right. I don't use the voice AI, as much, but you can do it just like you're saying. And it's a lot easier when you're on your phone because all these apps do. They all have a phone version. It's easy just to click that speaker button and ask. But I find that writing the prompt to me is more effective than speaking the prompt because I could be more accurate when I write. But that's just me. But it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
good.
yeah. And of
And
course,
it's really amazing. So you teach,
exactly. I think Yeah, yeah, yeah. I teach journalism and broadcast journalism, which is great stuff. And of course, we are now this year certainly looking at introducing AI to help with not editing or anything else or writing really, but to do with design, for instance. So, Canva, that's one of the things, or Adobe have got very much the AI design processes going on. So you can create a photograph from nothing, right? Or for, a photograph, an image from nothing. And so, yeah, that's the kind of thing that we're looking at. And it's,
but
obviously
you
AI
you can
within
you
the
can do that. You can do that
you
in the
can do
chat
that.
box too. Now they oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You can go to Gemini and say create an image and it'll use nano banana. and it'll kick out your image. If you like it, you download it. If you don't, you iterate, you come up with something else. So I don't use Canva all that much anymore. I use the chatbots.
Don't need to, right?
I'll use
Exactly.
Gemini.
I'll tell you what then.
You don't need them.
Yeah, no, perfect. Um, Listen, obviously we're running out of time now, Rick. It's a real shame, right? But let's say that you've got a client comes to you for, at your marketing services and says, look, I need to get some graphics done. How would you go about explaining to them how to use, as you've just said, the AI tools to create graphics or create pictures or all of that sort of thing? Give us a bit of a case study.
Well, I would tell them if they want to do it on their own, that they could do it on their own using one of the chatbots. They can play with ChatGPT, see what they pick out, because they have their own. They use Dolly 3. That's the name of their image creator. I like Gemini for that because Gemini uses Nano Banana. And I would tell them, try it. Just go in and when you go into something like Gemini, it'll have a little box down there, create picture, create, or an image, whatever it says. But it's the same thing. So then you just prompt it, and that's a good way to start learning about AI and how to create a prompt. Try to be specific as possible. Another trick you can do is have have the chatbot actually write the prompt for you. Type in, write a detailed prompt. This is what I want to explain graphically. I need an image or an infographic that describes such and such, such and such, such and such. Give me a detailed prompt. And it'll write the prompt for you. So then you just copy and paste the prompt, put it back in the Gemini, and they'll use Nano Banana to create a poster, an infographic, a plain image. And let's say you want your logo on the image and they didn't produce it for you. Well, you just go in the next time and say, put my logo on the left-hand corner. Now, you may have to upload your logo, but they have a little plus sign there. Bing. And all you do is you go to your hard drive on your computer and you hit a picture of an image of your logo, and it'll know that's the logo you want on that image. So, if you don't like the finished product that they deliver, just update it in your prompt. But you could even get them to write the prompt for you. If and I
It's
only learned
amazing.
that through
So you can get,
practice, Chris.
yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
exactly, Rick. I mean, that's yeah. That's the point, isn't it? Right. So through practice, obviously you can become very good at using AI for whatever it is that you need. I mean, my father's quite elderly, and he's in there as well now. My mother-in-law, same kind of thing. They're doing like this, so anybody can do it, from students through to retirees, right? So
Oh,
everyone can absolutely
oh,
just go
sure.
ahead and really benefit. Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, thank you very much, Rick. We are out of time, but I think that this is the beginning of a fascinating subject. Are you going to be writing a second version of AI for Beginners Demystified, do you think?
I haven't been able. I have all my notes put together, and it's going to be, AI from beginner to practitioner. And I hope to put all these simple things in. Hey, if you're a softball coach or you have a bowling league, or you have this, do this, and actually put the prompts in to help people, get started and continue with my message. So hopefully I will. Hopefully I'll get that done. I just have to find the time.
Fantastic. That's the
Yeah,
only thing,
yeah.
isn't it, right?
It's just it's interesting. But yeah, at least I have AI to help me. You know, I I think I have a leg up on a lot of other people. Because I
That's very true.
practice,
That's very true.
practice. You know. Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting thing
All
to
right,
do, isn't
Chris.
it? You can have a hobby like that, really, couldn't you? So, Rick, yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. Rick Samara, it's been wonderful talking to you. You're an award-winning author, don't forget. And listeners and viewers, make sure that you check out AI for Beginners Demystified. There's not that often where a book comes out and wins awards almost immediately. So it must be telling you something. So check it out on Amazon and, feel free to leave a comment down below, get involved in the conversation, and let's hook up and understand how AI can really help us. It's not going to take too many jobs. It'll replace or maybe augment them. Who knows? But let's see what happens. Okay. But in the meantime, I think, Rick, your message probably is enjoy it, learn it, and just move forward with it. Would I be right?
And that's exactly right, Chris. Exactly. You nailed it. You hit it out of the
Fantastic.
park.
Well, I'm going to go and do. Yeah, there you go. I should be a coach. So there we are. Listen, Rick Samara, thank you very much for joining me on this edition of Author Conversations. I hope to speak to you again soon with your second book. In the meantime, have fun, enjoy AI, and everybody else also enjoy AI. Lovely to meet you, Rick.
Thank you, Chris. Great to meet you too.
Take care. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can watch more Author Conversations here.